Welcome to the Dark Opportunity PvP build. Tolan here. This is my first build video, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. You'll notice I only run about 25,000 or 25.5 Magicka. Not that much Magicka compared to what you see on other Magicka, Nightblades. Another thing that you'll notice is I have a splash of stamina. There's 8 points of stamina, only because I want to dodge roll more and I want to be able to break free more often. I don't put any points in health, but you'll see later that I do put a lot of points into health using my gear. Other than that, I do have 44% spell crit and 2,000 spell damage, which is pretty standard for the sets I run. The one thing I do want to note is that I am a Khajiit, and I do get increased health regen for being a Khajiit, and that's one of my favorite things, and I actually do feel that. And otherwise, I do have Magicka and stamina regen at a decent level. And you'll see here that I am a werewolf, and that 15% coupled with a 30% that you get for being a Nightblade works out really well. I see that I run Drink, run all primary stat regeneration. You'll see a lot of people do stamina Magicka health regeneration and skip the health. But I don't do that because I'm a Khajiit and I like to play to my strengths. Let's get right into my gear. Okay, so I have 700 health on this. It is a heavy chest piece for that extra armor, and that's why I wear the chest piece. And it's Nirnhone. And we'll go and look at my shoulder piece, and we'll see that it's also Nirnhone, crafted with Toryg's Pact, and also a health enchant. And the 3 set that I get for running that extra health, that's what I'm talking about for being a Magicka Nightblade. Where you're going to get your health. You're not an Imperial. You don't get that extra health and stamina. You're a Khajiit. So what do? You put in points in that. Here's my martial knowledge. You'll see that I've actually made my martial knowledge from my boots and on my gloves. I've using the Imperial Edition ability, changed them to be Imperial style. Just look a little bit more stylish. I hate this belt, but it is what it is. It's the Adroitness 2-piece for that spell damage and that 10% sprint. And the 16% armor that you get on this hat is really negligible. You'll see there's my Adroitness with reduced Magicka cost, and my 2 rings with reduced Magicka cost. Definitely run that if you didn't know that. That's pretty standard max level enchants on your jewelry. And let's look at my Nirnhone staffs. Some people run Master Restoration staff, but I just like to keep that spell resistance going. And here is my Inferno staff. I've killed a lot of people with that staff. I'll show you my swords. I do have 2 Dwemer swords I just made for Toryg's Pact, but I find that the swords, the extra spell damage, is only really good in PvE, and that's generally where I use it. I use it on my AoE build in PvE. But I still got it, Here, I'll put the swords on. They're pretty cool. No hate for the swords. Definitely, I understand why people run them. That extra spell damage is great. If I was to vanish and get an extra spell damage buff right now, you'd see I hit about 2,900 spell damage. Let's go take a look at the champion points. Okay. Here is champion points. I have about 290 champion points, pretty standard. 20 points into spell shield and 10 points into resistance. You do feel that 5% crit damage, but you feel every champion point, and that 5% crit damage definitely goes away. But the Nirnhone with spell shield, definitely you feel that even more. 4% increased armor while wearing 5 pieces or more of light armor. I wish that this was better. It's not, though. These 2 abilities, Hardy and Elemental Defender, those are what allow you to actually survive in PvP. I definitely suggest that you put a lot of your early points in there and continue to put points in there. And finally, Bastion. When a Khajiit Nightblade like myself gets really low, I use Healing Ward, and that Bastion goes a long way. Magician, I have 39 points for that 9% decrease in spell cost. It's definitely worth it. I love spell cost reduction. Magicka regeneration, gotta have it. I run the Apprentice Stone, so that's something to be aware of. If you're not going to run, I believe the Atronach for mana regen. And then Tumbling 10 points, because I do break free and dodge roll a lot. Elfborn, 31 points for that 11% increased crit damage. And then 7 points in Spell Erosion. I kind of put points willy-nilly in those 2, depending on what's going to give me more at the time. Spell Erosion has a really hard curve on it, though. I have 1 point in Staff Expert, because I like light attacking with my PvE Resto Staff. I like heavy attacking with my Destro Staff in PvP. And then 57 points in Thaumaturge. And that is all for the champion system. And let's go look at some skills. I'll show you my Undaunted guild skill line. This is definitely really important for my build. You know, I'm a Khajiit, I have less stats, so I need this. I need that 6% in every tree. No way I'm not going to run that anymore. And then Vanity, show you I have 50 in every trade skill. Definitely put a lot of work into that. So we have Concealed Weapon for that stun, that reliable stun after Vanish, and the increased speed. Cripple, best ability in the game for that movement speed and damage over time. Definitely Structured Entropy before Cripple. Definitely makes that Cripple a lot stronger, and I suggest doing that quite often. Plus the 8% health, and then Dark Cloak for the health, and Soul Harvest for the crit damage on this bar. This is one of the most lethal bars you can run in the game. Here we go with Healing Ward. This is my emergency spell with Bastion coupled. Very good ability. Proximity Detonation. Highest damage ability in the game. I would show you the spell damage on that bar, but I can't see. Okay, so also Retreating Maneuver. People think I should probably run Structured Entropy on this bar for that 5% health, but having lower health on your Resto bar is very important. Double Take for the crit and the crit damage for passives, and then Soul Tether for the siphoning passive for Magicka Flood. There you go. Magicka Flood. Have a little tip: have low health on your Resto bar because it'll make it more reliable for casting shields on yourself. As far as Mundus Stones, what to run, right now I'm running the Spell Penetration Mundus Stone, but running Magic Regen or Flat Magicka stones are just as good. Anyway, that's all I got, guys, and continue to Nightblade it up. I'll see you around.